these funds, these super funds that are being weaponized against you are your retirement plans. And we have nugs, many of them aren't even in the fucking country, controlling your money and using it against you as a weapon. What in the hell is going on in this cluster screw we have called the real world now?
Nice dodge of the F-bomb there. That wasn't obvious at all.
Swear word redacted, Lord's name in vain.
It's not the Lord's name. My very Catholic grandmother used it as an adjective, so
I gotcha.
there you go. At any rate, this BlackRock thing, to answer your question, what they've done is create their own world, if you will, that operates outside of all international boundaries.
So you mean one that skirts the monopoly laws we have here?
Yeah.
Yes.
It does that as well. It skirts most of our laws and a lot of European laws, and they move all of their money around in such a way that you can't pin them to a country, and they never really stick a proper face on anything. BlackRock does have a guy named Larry Fink who's supposed to be the head of the organization. But all you ever hear is that he's the head of the organization. You never really hear about him doing things. He'll give an opinion here and there. All of the other stuff is done by their underlings, and it's like Spectre from the James Bond
I was just going to say that.
It is. It's just like fucking Spectre from the James Bond movies. Now, here's the thing, and it's going to require a whole second show. There's an exact Chinese equivalent called the China Entrepreneur Club. And it's structured almost exactly the same way, and it does almost exactly the same things. But it is controlled by the Chinese Communist Party because, of course, it's all controlled by the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, in fact, most of the corporations in China have a clause into their bylaws, meaning they can be taken over by Big Daddy Communist China at any time for the betterment of the country.
Yeah, that's a true story. I'm watching some of the comments go by. I want to comment on the comments, but we can't get involved in that. Let's just say some of you in the comments are not wrong, okay?
We will get there.
We're not wrong. So long ago, like 1981 or 1982, this bears on the topic. I collected Dragon magazine because I was a D&D
So did I.
geek. Yeah, there you go. And there was a short story in one about these two wizards that hated each other and they fought all the time. But when the closer they came to each other, the lesser their powers became. And one day they realized that if they protected each other and separated, they could fight proxy wars using nations. So they shielded each other with protective spells and began fighting each other using these proxy wars. And by God, if that doesn't sound like what's going on today between the China Entrepreneur Club and BlackRock.
Yes.
And I remembering that story and going, could they have known? Did somebody know something at Dragon Magazine? Well, because that's before TSR bought them. It was still Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes. Well, my thing is this is playing out in front of everybody's eyes. All right. This is no longer being done in the back rooms like it was in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s. This is on Front Street for everyone to see because they think they are untouchable. And for the most part, they have been. I am hoping that we can change that in the near future without resorting to a two-way rifle range event. I do not want to see violence. I want to see the tone of the nation come down a few pegs. And maybe we can have some civil discussions with the non-individuals who are basically making decisions and taking actions strictly on emotions. Because that never works out well.
Do tell.
Well, I write about this in my book. If you navigate the world or if you go into an adversarial event and you are motivated by anger, you will only maneuver in 2 dimensions. If you're motivated by hate, 1 dimension. So if you're going to go into an adversarial event, you must remain calm, receptive, ability to move left or right, lateral movement, And that is how you win. You win by flanking, outmaneuvering, going around, over, or through obstacles. Static defense almost always loses. There you go. Sorry.
You done?
I'm done.
Thank you. Now back to our regular programming. So anyway, let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Let's talk about these BlackRock clowns. And I want to take it to Larry Fink, who is the CEO.
It's not on the screen.
What's happened?
It's not on the screen.
View tab. I should have hit the button. Did I hit the button and then Jimmy hit the button at the same time?
I don't know.
Nope. We only got the roadmap there. Showed up.
I didn't add it to the stage because I'm an idiot. There. Added it to the stage. There we go. We good?
Yep.
Okay. So you see BlackRock at the bottom. You see Larry Fink up here toward the top. And this is going to be a little herky-jerky because this thing is huge in real life. Larry Fink, climate change activities and demands. He's the CEO of BlackRock. He's the guy behind the whole zero emissions by 2050. And he's just into everything. But in 2018, we found him at the National Committee at U.S.-China Relations event. Now, who's there? Henry Kissinger and a guy named Cui Tangkai, who was the Chinese ambassador.
Wow.
Biden's chief of staff, Wally Adamayo, worked for Larry Fink. Look at all of these ties. This map is so convoluted and crazy that going through the whole thing would take the whole night. 2006, he acquires Merrill Lynch, gets a 16.5% stake in Bank of China Venture.
Wow.
2010, quote, the idea was, why is this thing jerking around on me? Don't jerk around on me. That's not funny, and I don't like it.
It's a memory thing. You got a lot of stuff going through the memory.
Yeah. The idea was many clients come to BlackRock because they want global exposure. We need and should be in China. This is the point where BlackRock and China, the China Entrepreneur Club, form this giant specter organization, and it has two giant tentacles.
Let me correct you. They want to be the New World Order.
That's the WEF that wants to be the New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
This is the moment in time where all of the power in the form of all of the finances coalesces. Now the WEF goes, we can begin doing that thing that we do.
Yep.
This is the moment right here in 2010. So their goal is zero emissions by 2050. Action via board of Oh, oops. Look how large this thing is. This is really huge.
That's what she said.
I was just going to say.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you for avoiding that homo suspicion point. Okay, this thing is has got a life of its own. I apologize for it flying all over the place.
Yeah.
But as you can see, it is being extremely uncooperative.
Pain in the wiener. But, I mean, when you look at this flow chart, they actually mapped out who talks to who has relations, in a non-gay way with who. It could be gay, I don't know. So, I'm just putting that in there.
Remember, this is 2019.
Yes.
DEI didn't really seriously kick in until about 2022, right?
I would say DEI started as soon as the dictator-in-chief was installed.
2021 then, right about there. Well, here's where it comes from, though. It's Larry Fink. Action via board of BlackRock against companies who do not comply with climate demands, requiring companies to work through BlackRock, to disclose diversity of workforce, including all demographics, pressuring companies working through BlackRock to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion. It wasn't even called DEI yet.
But look how well that has worked out.
Oh, I know. It backfired on them. Take direct action against companies working through BlackRock via voting that does not exhibit diversity by 2022. There it is. Vote to remove company board directors who do not comply with BlackRock demands. So this is the financial coup.
Yep.
The political coup is the WEF through the White House in our case, and whatever country you're in, whatever your parliament is.
And listen, BlackRock is literally blackmailing other corporations with your own money.
That's exactly what that is. Now, let's see if I can get over here without this whole thing collapsing. Because remember, this is 2019, 2020, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Look, here's Hunter Biden What's Burisma? Oh my. What's going on over here?
Yep.
Demands investigation into the money laundering U.S. $7.4 billion for ex-president Viktor Yanukovych. Ukraine, President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, Prosecutor General Viktor Shokin is the one who was fired under Biden's orders. And you can see this line here. This will lead back to the Biden administration.
Mm-hmm.
So BlackRock acquires Franklin Templeton, which has ties to the Democratic Party, and invested specifically in CCP companies. We've got here BlackRock has also China investment opportunities for investors. This is where they open the doors.
Hold up a minute real quick. I don't want to blow your mind here, but investing in CCP, the minute you put any money into China, it's no longer yours.
Yeah, it's gone.
They're just basically giving you the privilege of using it, and maybe they'll let you take it out. That's how China works.
Yes.
And your retirement funds are going to a communist country that can literally turn off their money at any time they want and screw you over bad. And we have people who aren't even in this country controlling your fucking retirement funds and risking them in China. What could go wrong?
Possibly go wrong. So the attendees at that previously mentioned 2018 National Committee on U.S.-China Relations included Jamie Dimon from J.P. Morgan Chase, David Solomon from Goldman Sachs, who got full control of Futures Venture, and Goldman Sachs got controlling ownership of their Chinese security ventures. John Thornton, who is the former senior executive go-between from the "you're not going to like this and I don't care" Trump administration. If you don't think they're all in bed together, you're not paying attention. Okay?
Correct.
Trump may believe certain things that are good for the country. The people who work around him,
they're all in on this.
It was demonstrated by his administration. You could tell. So China, this dates back to the 1990s, some of this here, allows only Chinese companies to have dominance over every sector of finance in China. It's the fastest growing market for financial services. What's going over here? The U.S. former Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson and former Premier Zhu Rongji in the 1990s, they're all, where does this go? It goes to Goldman Sachs. And look, from there, it goes to the Trump administration. Meanwhile, BlackRock has its hands all over the Biden administration. Look how huge this damn thing is. We'll put this graphic up where you can get it and have a look at it. It's connected to the Obama administration. I don't want to overly dwell on this map, but I really needed you to see just how deep these tentacles go and how long this has been going on.
All right, now let's put this out there. If you guys want a copy of this,
oh yeah, I made this. It's yours.
We'll email it to you. Just send us an email. Yep. We'll forward it to you. Whatever. It's cool.
Yeah. Actually, I have this in the emails. I can put this up on the website.
Okay.
So that it's all there for everyone to see. So I can get that done. I can get that put up here tonight.
Yeah, and remember, this is 4 years old. Take pieces of this, and go do online research. Go look at open source, the Dow records, the Dun and Bradstreet records, all of that stuff, corporate records, and like Yahoo Finance is a good resource for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you can see how much this has expanded, how much this is completely blown up.
Yeah, I used to use Yahoo Finance for doing covered calls when I used to day trade.
There you go.
So yeah, it's a good deal.
There you go. But this is, let me back this off so you can see the actual extent of this thing. That was 4 years ago, and this was as much as we could get for the time that we had. I think we had about a week of prep before we went onto the ground.
But just imagine now, we've had war going on in Ukraine for 3 years with, was it $90 billion that's already been
something like that, and another $6.4 billion today.
Yeah.
The Ukraine thing, we've had China going across our border. We've had China taking over our trade. We've had the WEF corrupting most of our politicians. Whitmer's entirely owned by the WEF. She doesn't even make any bones about it. She goes there every year to get advice from them. And they're not going there for meetings.
And if you don't know who Whitmer is, she's the governor of Michigan.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting that not everybody lives here.
Yeah.
Anyway, That's what BlackRock looks like.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.